Good morning, my name is 28Jul11 from Weather Commerce, and this is this morning's weather brief on Thursday the 28th of July. Today's weather brief will cover a summary on the West European 5-day average temperatures, the UK, Europe, Scandinavian precipitation, and finally global weather alerts. Firstly, we'll start by taking a summarised look at the mean surface temperatures across Europe. And between days 11 and 15, temperatures are forecast to be either near or trending around 2 or perhaps 3 degrees below climate averages across many areas. And between days 6 and 10, there is model agreement and consistency for temperatures within this time period to be generally near or just trending slightly below climate averages by only 1 or perhaps 2 degrees. And finally, between days 2 and 5, consistency is high, and model agreement is evident for many central and eastern areas of Europe in particular to have temperatures at least 4 or perhaps 5 degrees below climate averages as particularly cool weather dominates. In contrast, parts of the UK and also Spain, for example, is likely to have temperatures nearer to climate averages. And now taking a closer look at the United Kingdom in some closer detail. And between days 11 and 15, as we move towards and beyond the weekend of the 6th and 7th of August, confidence levels are medium or perhaps even medium to high, given good model agreement and consistency for temperatures to be generally trending 1 or 2 degrees below climate averages. The following weather chart for the 8th of August helps to illustrate why temperatures are likely to be trending 1 or perhaps 2 degrees below climate averages, and that is in association with an area of low pressure to the north or northwest of the UK producing a predominantly cool west or northwesterly air mass over the majority of the United Kingdom. This signal has been persistent for numerous days, and hence the reason why confidence levels are medium or perhaps even medium to high to suggest that as we move towards and beyond the opening week of August, the UK is likely to be particularly cool and also unsettled. Between days 6 and 10, as we move into the opening week of August, confidence levels are medium to high, given that once again there is model agreement and consistency for temperatures to be very close to a climate mean of around 17 degrees Celsius. Some of the GFS and ECMWF ensembles do signal temperatures perhaps just 1 degree below climate averages, but at the present time the 6 to 10 day period is forecast to have temperatures very near to climate norms. And finally, within the short term, over the next 2 to 5 days as we move towards the end of July, there is some model divergence. The solid black line, as represented by the Metro model, is preferred over the other available forecast models. I do expect temperatures to be nearer to climate averages than as represented by some of the other models which signal temperatures at least to be 1 or 2 degrees below climate norms over the next 2 to 5 days. And now taking a closer look at the expected European temperatures in some closer detail. And between days 11 and 15 there is model agreement and consistency for most areas of Europe to have temperatures either near or trending 1 to 2 degrees below climate averages. This is in association with some particularly cool and unsettled conditions, especially across some central and northern areas of Europe in particular. The latest Germany model comparison graph helps to illustrate this situation well, and as you can see within the highlighted red circle, which covers the 11 to 15 day time period, all of the available forecast models have temperatures at least 1 or 2 degrees below climate averages. Model agreement and consistency is evident from previous days, and as a result I have medium or perhaps even medium to high confidence with regards to these temperature trends. Between days 6 and 10, again, there is model agreement and consistency from previous days to suggest that the majority of Europe is forecast to have temperatures very near to climate averages, or perhaps just trending slightly below climate averages, but by only perhaps 1 degree Celsius. There is a signal that very little extremes of temperatures are expected within this time period, and again, temperatures are forecast to be very near to climate norms. The latest model comparison graph from Benelux is a good example, and as you can see between days 6 and 10, as highlighted in the red circle, temperatures are forecast to be very near to climate averages in this instance, which is 18 degrees across Benelux, before then the expected drop in temperature is evident there within the longer term. And finally, within the short term over the next 2 to 5 days, confidence levels are high, given very good model agreement and consistency, to highlight that many central and eastern areas of Europe in particular, including France, Benelux, Germany, Austria, Switzerland and even down into Italy, are forecast to have temperatures at least 3 or 4 degrees below climate averages. Yet some far western and northwestern areas of Europe, including the UK and Spain for example, is likely to have temperatures very near to climate norms. And now taking a look at the expected precipitation totals across Scandinavia. And over the next 7 to 10 days as we move towards the end of July and into the opening week of August, many areas of Norway in particular are forecast to have precipitation totals of at least 100 to 125 millimetres, which is at least 200 to 300% of normal. In contrast, some northern and eastern areas of Scandinavia, including northern regions of Sweden and also many areas of Finland, is forecast to have precipitation totals near or trending slightly below climate norms. Within the longer term, towards and beyond the 4th to the 12th of August, many areas of Scandinavia are currently forecast to be particularly wet, with precipitation totals either near or trending slightly above climate averages, but particularly across some northern areas of Sweden and also Finland. And now taking a look at global weather alerts, which highlight significant deviations from normal, and the very warm and hot conditions which have been dominant across the United States over the last 7 to 10 days at least, are forecast to continue over the next 7 to 10 days at least, particularly across some central and also southern areas of the country. Here, temperatures may well exceed 90 to 100 degrees Celsius, which is at least 8 to 12 degrees above climate norms. Some well above average precipitation totals are forecast to continue across many southern areas of Brazil over the next 7 to 14 days. Precipitation totals may exceed 125 millimeters, which is at least 300 to 400% of normal totals. Also, some well above average precipitation totals are forecast across many central and southern regions of China over the next 7 to 14 days. Precipitation totals may exceed 150 millimeters across some central and southeastern areas of the country in association with some torrential, thundery downpours, which may well lead to a risk of some localized flooding. And finally, it is worth to highlight that a well-organised area of thunderstorms just to the northeast of the Yucatan Peninsula within the Caribbean is becoming increasingly organised and may well become a tropical depression or potentially even a tropical storm as it moves towards the northwest through the Gulf of Mexico over the next 3 to 4 days. Some parts of Texas may well be at risk of some torrential rainfall within 3 or 4 days. Thank you for listening to today's weather brief. Goodbye.